What up, what up, what up, what up? Thanks again for tuning in. This is Deactivated Podcast, your boy Ibu, live and direct, of course. As always, you can catch me if you are able. If I'm able to get this video right, you're going to see this on YouTube. This is new shit that I'm trying. Listen, I don't know if it's going to work, but we're going to try it out. But special kind of day today. It's snowing outside. We are in Toronto. It is cold. But this has been in the making for a long time, and my man has decided to pull up on me. Finally, after a few months. Here's what I like about this podcast shit. And maybe some people that listen to it might not understand thoroughly is that though these might come out on a weekly basis or bi-weekly, these things we put in the background work for a couple months at a time. And my guest today, you can see it on the YouTube, but for those listening in, has been an example of that. Like, we've been talking about this for a long time. He's been busy. I've been busy. And now we find it on a Sunday night to link up and give y'all this, hopefully about an hour or so conversation. So to introduce him with no further, now I was going through, also just to preface this, he's one of the only artists to come to my podcast, but to give me work to look into. So I want to give him a big shout out for that, because a lot of y'all, and I don't want to brag about me, but I am kind of good at this shit on the low. So like I could figure questions. But he definitely made my job much. I didn't have to go to look for shit. I'm like, oh, all the resumes here. You know what I mean? So for artists coming in, I think something to learn from this, and even me, I didn't realize how important this was until you did it, is that, yeah, like, because I don't know the work prior to when I get introduced to you. So unless I'm a fan of you, I don't go back and do the research and figure out anything like that. So once again, he made my job easier. So he is a multi-disciplinary artist with multilingual upbringing, represent both Gabon and Congo, which I got questions about that, right?
Okay.
Spent some time in France, which I think when we spoke was a given, because obviously I knew you were French and things like that, or at least spoke French. And before moving to the greatest city in the world, which I claim to be, of course, Toronto. Don't argue with me about that. It is the greatest city. Ladies and gentlemen, in the studio right now, we have Borelson. Welcome. Thanks for coming, man.
Yeah, my pleasure, man. Thanks for having me. And then, like you just said, it was, long overdue. And now, we made it happen. So I'm really happy to be here. And,
Talk to me about the Gabon and Congo, right?
Yeah,
because I'm trying to understand, like, is that where you grew up, or that's part of your heritage?
Yeah, so it's actually where I grew up. So my dad is from Gabon, and my mom is from Congo, Kinshasa.
Okay.
And then I was actually born and raised in Gabon. And then after that, after high school, I went on to spend some years in France, notably for like higher education.
Yeah.
And then after that, I always just knew that I wanted to live in North America, right, whether the States or Canada. And then I just made it happen at some point. I tell my family that I think it's time for me to take that leap of faith, and then I moved here in Toronto. And ever since, I've been, living my best life.
What makes somebody like you be inspired or even be triggered to move to France? And was France part of like the stepping stone? Did you think you would just stay in France, or did you always knew no, I needed to get to North America? How I do it's going through France.
Yeah, so I always knew that at some point I would spend my life in North America, but for France I think it was just the easy option, because especially Gabon is a former French colony, so most of the people after high school, or just when they want to go like after high school for higher education, or even just for vacation, most of the time the first country we think about is France.
Yeah.
So, and being the youngest in my family, all my siblings were already there, so actually that was just easy to go there because we had no family in North America. So then the parents were just like, just go there, and then that's gonna be easier. But me, I just always knew that I wanted
You're like, nah, France is not it.
I mean, it was good, but to be honest, it just came from my upbringing, because so my mom used to work for the U.S. Embassy in Congo back in the day when she met my dad. So growing up, it's always been like a mix of the African culture, right? Gabonese, Congolese, and then also the Francophone culture, the American one. But it's just that beside the African one, obviously, the one that I resonate more with, I think, yeah, I always felt more like an attraction. The one that was more like appealing to me was the American one, the North American one. You know, that idea that you just go there and then you work hard and whatever you want to do in life, you can make it. So, and to me, I was like, yeah, my mindset is more like that one, where just like you go and get it, you work hard and you do whatever you want to do in life. So that's why I always just knew it was a matter of time, and then yeah.
What was it like? Because I mean, and I have a lot of French friends that are like born and raised in Paris. A lot of them now moved to Toronto and things like that. What was that like? Because I have my own theory on France, and I feel ways about certain things, but I want you, since you lived there, because I've actually never lived there. I've only been there for like maybe a week or two at a time, kind of thing.
Okay.
What was that like, living in France? And which city in France? Were you in Paris?
Yeah. So the first 2 years, I was in the on the east side of France.
Okay.
So that was a small city between Nancy and Strasbourg. I would say that was like the two big cities around where I was.
Okay.
And then after that, I went. Yeah, the rest of my time I was in Paris. So I mean, I would say that in my personal case, I just knew that France, it was temporary. I always knew that it was just like, okay, I'm here because all my siblings are there. I have some family there. It was the easy option, but I knew that my end goal was to go and live, spend some time. Yeah, so I just always kept that in mind, and actually I spent way more time than I expected there. But my experience, I would say, in general, it was a good one. You know, no country or no city is perfect, but I just felt that given my mindset, it would have been better for me to just leave at some point and move to North America. So I would say, yeah, it was a great experience. You know, I learned a lot of stuff there.
I mean, I like your answer, but I feel like you gave me the. You didn't really dig too deep. It's like, you know what? I don't know who's watching this, but you're right. I get it. But me, I struggle a lot. And my biggest thing with France is just the mentality. It doesn't room. I feel it doesn't leave room for evolution. Meaning, like, they are stuck in their ways. Yeah. And they only love their ways. And if it's not their ways, they'll complain about it. Yeah. And then just go back to their, you know what I mean? It's just it's a weird kind of dynamic. But shout out to all my French friends. I love y'all for real.
Oh yeah, definitely, man.
And so I mean, outside of the bad thing, the great thing that I love about France is that a lot of people are not that much removed from their upbringing or even their identity. Meaning, like, even if you're born in France, you are either Congolese, you are from Mali, like even French people. So I think for that, they've retained that, and I think that's the greatest thing. Yeah. Where when you in North America, you don't see that as much. Like, you'll run into, let's say, a Jamaican, for example. They'll be like, "Oh, no, I'm Canadian." I'm like,
yeah, that's true.
We all Canadian. We got the passport. You know what I mean? But that's not our true identity, which I feel like, for sure, in France, people do retain a lot of that while still living there. Whether they even born there or not, or they grew up there, it's still like, yo, I'm such and such from such and such country. Yeah,
and I think that also is different in terms of experience. So, like I said, right, I think no country or no city is perfect. They're always good and bad stuff. So, and I always say, for instance, ever since I've been here, right, people ask me, oh, I mean, how come you left Paris, France, to move to Canada? It's cold here. I'm like,
city of love, God.
Man, I'm telling you, fashion, you know, love, and the good food, you know, gastronomy, and that. So, but I'm like, it just depends, man. The experience, for instance, I say to people of color, especially black people, I say it's not the same if, for instance, you're a black person from North America going to France, and then you, a black person from Africa, going to France and live there. It's like the approach is not the same. The people reaction is not the same, because on one hand, I just noticed that, for instance, when you're from the continent, it's more like, oh, you come from some countries that we colonized. But when you're a black person from North America, it's more like, oh, he comes from those countries that actually saved us. Yeah, like during World War II, those black soldiers, they helped like France in so many countries in Europe like being freed for what was happening in World War II. So that's why the approach is not the same. So that's why even when you think about those people like James Baldwin and so many jazz musicians, they were leaving the state and going to live in France because they're like, oh, people, they're like, we're so welcome, they treat us well. And so that's why I always say, like, just go make your own experience. But being a black person in France, that would depend like where you come from. Like if you're coming from North America or if you're coming from the continent, you might not have the same experience, right? And most people here that seem to be surprised that we're black people, like they are North American, not like African people. African people are like, yeah, man, welcome to Toronto, man. That's cool here. Stay here. Let's make it happen, right? So
don't leave.
Yeah. Just do what you gotta do here, and then let's have fun. So yeah.
What has been your biggest adjustment? Would you say coming from France until obviously not residing in Toronto? What was the biggest learning curve for you?
Here in Toronto. Coming here, I would just say the weather. I would say, yeah.
Yeah, really?
Because yeah, yeah.
I thought maybe you would say like, I mean, you express yourself very well in English, but like sometimes sometimes it's not so much the language, but the terms that they use because. We all speak English, but when I go to London, I'm confused. Yeah. Right? Because it's terms I'm like, I don't know. What the hell's chips? Chips, I'm thinking potato chips, but they're thinking fries or whatever it is. But you were saying the weather was the biggest shock.
Yeah, that was the biggest shock because when I moved here, it was actually I moved here during the winter.
Oh wow,
so, man. But I was like, I'd rather start with the worst and then enjoy, the summertime better.
Man, I like that.
Yeah, I was like, come prepared, come ready, Yeah. And then actually that was the best way because I came during the winter and I was like, oh, actually it's cold, but then, you just make sure that you dress warm and everything. And then when the summer kicked in, man, I was like, this is heaven.
Like, the city is different.
Yeah, man, I was like, summertime is like heaven here. And then the winter after that, I was like, yeah, I'm already ready, man. So I'm okay, I'm good. So I was like, instead of coming during the summertime and then when it starts getting cold, you feel stressed and anxious, nervous because you're like, I don't know how to get ready properly, right? So, but yeah, we said the weather, but for the language, the slang and everything, I like to observe a lot. So to me, it was just like, you just take the time to observe and then, you learn fast and quick. So I'm an observer, so every time wherever I go, man, I'm just like, okay, I'm just going to observe and see how things work and then learn from that and try to learn as much as possible. And actually what I like is that people are really open and open and willing to teach you, to show you around, they're really nice. So that's also something that I think was a very positive trait. Well, like, people you can be walking on the street and seem to be a little lost. They might be like, hey, can I help you? No. So I always also like that, the fact that people are so willing to help you, especially when they know that you're new into the country.
Yeah, they can like, tell
yeah, they're like, let me help you, you're looking for this and that. So, yeah.
And I feel like to that, like, it's the Canadian one. Canadian just, by nature, just nicer. In many ways. So, like, it's just what it is. And then when you go to certain countries, you're reminded right away that, my friend, you are not privileged. You're absolutely black.
Oh, yeah.
When I go to Europe, I speak French very well, but I don't speak any, unless I really have to. Like, I remember going to Nice in October. Yeah. Spoke zero French. I ain't do it. Okay. And I was getting treated better. Now, to my advantage, I could hear what you're saying. I just respond to you in English just because it's just the perception, like you were saying, like North American, they look at you like, yo, you're the savior. Yeah. We will embrace you. But as soon as you speak French, they automatically put you in the pocket like,
colonized.
Oh, yeah, you up here taking up all our steak. Good little bits. I like to learn about people that come on my podcast. To me, the most important thing, and I've said this before, I support people two ways. Either I like you as a person, so I want to see you win, so obviously
same.
I go behind it, or you're just that great of a talent. It's one of the two for me. So the story definitely plays a major part. So those of y'all listening, I hope you learned some shit, because I did. And I want to get into your 2019 a little bit, you know what I mean? Especially towards the end of it, it was the return of Ghana. A lot of people got a chance to go to Ghana and buy alcohol that they can't afford and come back almost damn near losing their jobs. But for some of us, we actually went out there and did work. You know what I mean? And you was one of them. I remember we talked while I was there. We missed each other. Because I came back and you went to
literally like a week after you.
Couple of days. I think it was a couple of days, right?
Yeah. And I was surprised. I was like, oh, the guy already left? Come on, man.
Yeah, I was in and out like a robbery. You know what I mean? And I was like, yo, listen, I could go. I could give y'all a week. And shout out to Africa. And the whole thing behind Afrifest Africa, which took place first time in Ghana, is that I didn't know I was going to get to go. I got the call 2 weeks before.
Yeah.
So there's only so much that I could stay there. Obviously, I got to, job to attend to and things like that.
Yeah.
So I want you to give me your take about going to Ghana. Obviously, you've been back to the motherland quite often.
Oh, yeah, definitely,
right?
yeah.
But what makes the return of Ghana thing a different experience for you, and to having the chance to participate and go down there and perform and to create a lot of connection? What was that like for you?
Yeah, so Ghana, if I have to sum it up real quick before going into details, that was my best trip ever.
Really?
Like literally, like I remember when I came back here, I had to actually write down all the countries that I've been to, because I was like, are you sure that this is your best trip? Because you've been to like different places, really? Right? And I was like listing, and I don't want to brag, but I've been to, whether it's for like tourism or for like, class trip or exchange program, whatever, but I've been to like more than 17 countries, different countries. So, and then I was like, Ghana is literally like my top 2, literally. So Ghana was a great experience in the sense that, on one hand, shout out to Afro Chic Toronto. So they're also doing the first edition of Afro Chic in Ghana, and then I was there to perform for the year of return. So that was one of the main reasons and one of the highlights also of my stay there, my journey there. But the main one, the moment that was like, to me, this is so powerful, was also during the New Year, starting like January 1st, right? So we had a party by Labadi Beach for New Year. We're celebrating until the morning. And then when the sun starts rising, everybody just went by the ocean. And it was so powerful to see like the sun rising. All those black people, melanated people, we all went by the sea, by the ocean. Some people were like also starting to like swim and everything. And just looking around, I was so moved by that, because I was like, this is some black people from all over the world, from the continent, from the Caribbean, from North America, coming all together by choice in a place where some of our ancestors were actually taken by force.
Yeah.
And to me, that was just like powerful. I was like, that quote that say, oh, we are ancestors' writer's dream, to me that was now making sense. I was like imagining that those ancestors see now those generations coming together as one and celebrating each other, embracing each other. So to me, that was so powerful, that feeling. I can not really describe how I was feeling that day, but I know that was just, that was it. I was like, I love my people, man. I was like, I love my people. Seeing all of us coming together like that, man. So Ghana, it was great. Not just the parties, obviously the party, man. They party like, oh man, like there was that song, party after party, every night, man, until the sun rises. And also, I like the fact that there are so many events, conferences, talks where you can actually connect with some locals or people from anywhere in the world, as long as we're just black, right? Like create those connection and see what we all can bring as like knowledge, money, skills, anything, and then see what we can build together, whether it's for Ghana, for the continent in general, or just also for the black culture in general. So to me, that was really smart. And shout out to the Ghanaian government, to the Ghanaian people, so nice and so welcoming, to Boris Kojo and Bozoma St. John, that really make that year of return successful. And and I think in terms of numbers, I heard that around like 800,000 people went to Ghana last year, and it generated $1.9 billion just for that year of return. And that's why I think in 2020 they even want to do like the year beyond the return. Okay. So I think they
probably want to make it a thing for every year for people to go in there. Yeah. Now you gave us some great stuff. Mm-hmm. What are things that you feel could improve? Because I like to hear both. Because I mean it's nice, and there was many great things that took place. Yeah. But what are things that stood out to you as like, we need to work on this more?
I mean, the main thing I would say
The traffic.
Yeah. That's why the
Traffic
first
was
thing I was like,
horrible.
traffic was crazy, and then I was like, it looks like this is actually common to many big cities where it looks like maybe they don't really think about the way the city is gonna grow and how many people are gonna be like, oh, I wanna like buy 1, 2, 3 cars, right? And then at some point, everything is just like so, clogged and everything. So, but any big cities, man, like even in Paris, right, same thing, like the traffic there is all
It's
crazy,
horrible.
man. So I just think that all these big cities now, they just think forward and think ahead and be like, how can we make sure that, okay, the city is gonna grow, we're gonna have like more people coming in, but let's still make sure that the life is still affordable and also the traffic is not too crazy, right? So I think that was that part, the traffic, the way it was crazy. And the other thing was, but coming back to the continent, you're like, oh, actually, yeah, that's the norm there. But yeah, the timing, sometimes schedule for some events, like you can be like, oh, a show is supposed to start like maybe at 8, and then because of this and that, like at 10, like you're like, okay, guys, all
DJ
right.
is not even there. Yeah.
So or some technical issues or this type of stuff. By the end of the day, you just
You make the best
enjoy.
of it.
Yeah, you enjoy the vibe in the meantime. But I would say, yeah, those two things where, you really have to actually be flexible. I would say, yeah. What I was there, I was like, yeah, you know what, just be flexible, because if you really want to bring that like Western mentality where it's like if it's I mean, you're gonna like stress yourself, and then you're actually gonna like miss the fun and spend most of the time being like frustrated. So to me, I was just trying to go with the flow. But those two things, I would say, the traffic and more like when you schedule stuff.
And I wanted to add to, I mean, Ghanaians, we're not here trying to bash our traffic. We understand.
I mean,
there was
cities.
800,000 people that was there.
Yeah.
Me, my whole frustration is, it don't matter what outfit I had on. By the time I was there, I was sweaty. My cologne had wore off. I think maybe it's just a personal thing for me. Like I couldn't get to, you know what I mean? Because it took so long. I think in retrospect, like to drive 10 kilometers took 45 minutes. Or to an hour. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it was like short
crazy.
distances, but it was taking so long. And hopefully, and me, I was there earlier because I think I was there from like the 10th to the 17th, something like that. Yeah. So I can only imagine what y'all went through. Those that stayed, beyond to the first and things like that.
Yeah.
Hopefully, the country and the city of Accra has taken into consideration the impact and I'm confident that they will improve upon that stuff because it literally puts everything at a standstill. So even me getting to Afrofest, I think that day I got there like 30 minutes after it started. I think I got there like 7:30. It started at 7, but I left where I was staying. I think I left at like 5:30.
Okay, yeah, man. Yeah.
It's like, oh shit, like there's nothing I could really do in that sense.
That's
the
true.
performance that you did there. What was that like? Talk to me a little bit about the preparation behind it, the mindset that you have to go in.
So I think that was interesting because a little bit just like you, to me, I would say it was like not like very last minute, but the official confirmation was kind of also your last minute.
Yeah.
So I literally touched down in Ghana the same day I was performing.
Oh shit, okay.
Yeah, man, like I touched down like maybe at 10 a.m. and then I was supposed to perform like, I think at like 6 or something like that. And be at the venue in the afternoon to do like the sound check and all that stuff. So actually I didn't even like took a nap. I was like, okay, I just dropped my luggage and everything, take everything that I'm gonna need for the show. And then I went straight there. So it was by Aussie Beach Palace and then Aussie Palace Beach. And actually the whole organization that day was amazing because it was a whole day. Afro Shit was like a whole day. So you have like talks, conferences, some also vendors. So the whole day, the whole vibe was actually amazing. I just think that, and also beside the fact that there's so many things that was happening in Accra, right, that day, I think there was a good amount of people that showed up. Yeah. Because also I think the lineup was actually pretty dope because it was a good mix of some artists from Toronto and also some local artists. So they had that local performance called Efia, I think. Efia, she's like one of the biggest artists in Ghana right now. And another local, but she's actually originally from Cameroon, and then Tania, shout out to Tania actually. So I think the lineup and all like the vendors and the people also in the talk, I think the organization was, I was impressed by the amount of work that they've been doing, the venue. So I think overall that day was a great experience, and to me that was my first day in Ghana. So I was like, wow, the bar is really high, because I'm like, that day was just like perfect and everything.
So I gotta set the tone for the rest of
Yeah, I was like, I hope that the next day gonna be great too. But actually, as days was going by, and then every day was actually bringing something new and very positive. And yeah, that night the only thing, like I say, is more about at some point we had to wait a little bit more, maybe to make sure that we have like enough people. So instead of performing at 6, then you're gonna maybe perform later on.
Right.
But then it was worth the wait, to be honest. So I did my thing, and I had like, oh man, people, they're vibing with you. When they're vibing with you, they're really vibing with you when you're performing, right? So they were like bouncing to my tracks and everything. And then having that track called The Vision, one of my first single of my coming album, performing that day, I was like, yeah, this is like a perfect opportunity. And the vibe was just amazing, man. Like, I remember when I saw the video, I was like, yeah, because sometimes when you're on stage, you don't really realize everything that's happening around you. And then, no, I think, definitely shout out to Afro Chic. They did an amazing job. So, yeah, the whole day was a great experience. We have enough people, and there were actually activities for everybody. There was a restaurant too for people that just want to like have some drinks and
turn up kind of
thing. So no, that was a great place. And shout out to Amoye, to Randall, Ajay, and everybody.
Shout out to Randall. I ran into him too. He came to Afrofest. Funny enough, like I've known who he was, and we've interacted.
Oh, you never met before?
But we've never actually talked, right?
Wow.
So then when I saw him, I ran up to him. I was like, yo, what up? And he's looking at me like, oh, yeah, like you, whatever. And then he was telling me, and we get into conversation, and then I talk about my podcast.
Yeah.
He go, oh, that's you? I was like, yeah. He's like, oh, shit. Like, I had no idea. So apparently, shout out to him.
Yeah.
He listened to the podcast and followed the page or whatnot.
Yeah.
So he was like, to me, and that's why I want to, because I know a lot of times we see each other on social media and things like that, but we don't really sit there and take the time to actually talk to the other person.
That's true.
So it's like we have a conception, or even like our own blinders on as to like, yo, this person might be this way, whatever it is. And then it was an opportunity for me first time to actually like really speak to him. And also Jakisha was there as well.
Yep, she was performing. Actually, that we were part of the same set. Yep. Yeah, she killed it. And shout out to Zakisha. So no, definitely Zakisha. Actually, Kibra was actually also able to perform. She performed on a track with me, and then she also did her own thing. So shout out to Kibra, amazing performer. And then the whole day, Afro Chic, was an amazing experience. I met a lot of great people, and that first day was like lit, and I'm like, wow, just the first day is already like that fire.
It set the stuff. Now, and you were saying like your interaction with people out of, because there was also a lot of celebrity days. I seen you take pictures with quite a few famous people. What was your most meaningful interaction that you had there? Whether it's from a regular average Joe or a celebrity that stood out to you the whole time?
I think I would say, when I talked to Boris Kojo, shout out to Boris Kojo, and we actually have the same name, but
okay, shameless plug, okay.
But actually, he was actually like very humble, and then we just had like a quick conversation, and we were talking about the whole movement and what he was doing for the country, right? And I was just wanted to say thank you and congratulate him for everything that he was doing, and we just had that good conversation. And the fact that he was so humble and cool, calm, and
approachable,
chill.
And things like that,
So definitely, I think that moment was like one of the key moments. And then I remember I also met.
Did you ask him like, yo, my man, just follow me real quick? Did you?
Nah, no? I'm not like that anymore.
In those months, you don't.
I'm not like that anymore. Back in the day, maybe, but to be honest,
what changed though? Why are you saying?
I think it's more like organic to me nowadays. That's the way I work. It's definitely, if you feel like it. I don't want to like force things, but I don't force things anymore, man. You have to be organic, and that's it. So, so that day, and then I met also one of the guys who's actually the co-founder of Mr. Easy's platform Empower Africa. So I actually met the co-founder, and this guy is like very low-key and discreet.
What's it called? I've never heard of this thing.
You know what his name is? Ikena, and the guy lives in Toronto.
What's the platform called? It's called Empower.
Empower Africa.
And what is it? What
So
does it do?
literally, they just try to give a platform for up and coming artists. So most of the time, the way it works is more like people submit their music, and then they're gonna pick a certain amount, and then those people that are gonna be selected, they're gonna be actually coached and mentored by either Mr. Easy or people from Miss Network in terms of like just have enough resources to take the music career to the next level.
To the next,
So yeah, so they do
Shout
that.
out to him, and he resides in Toronto.
Yep, he told me that he was in Toronto, so we're gonna link up hopefully soon. But yeah, and the guy was like very low key, and actually, yeah, it's more like people that were telling me, oh, actually, that's him, and I'm like, oh, okay, all right, but you know, normal, that cool dude, but you know, because he's more like, I guess, like the nerd guy, like making sure the platform is fine and everything. So yeah, so that was him, and also definitely. Fuse ODG, yeah, that was also like one of the guys that was like the coolest, man. He did like a festival called Tina for like This Is New Africa. So every year I think he does like a festival where it's not just about parties, but also there are like events where you can talk about the future of Africa, investment and all that stuff, and then you have also like performances. So yeah, Fuse, he did like pool party at his own mansion, man. He had like an amazing big house, man, pool and everything. So man, that night was just like one of my best.
Running around butt naked. Shit.
Man,
I should have stayed some more.
I'm telling you, man.
I left early, goddammit. Yo, you want next year?
Man.
I get to go. I'm probably gonna stay there. Hopefully, the problem is about finding out. Like, it's the timing of it. Because I already had some things planned ahead of time.
Yeah. Same thing. Fuse ODG, I met him like a couple of times in Accra, and it's always cool. And the event that he was throwing and organizing everything with like the New Africa Movement or Tina Festival. Yeah, man, this guy's really cool. Like at a pool party. And then when he did the performance at the Polo Beach Club, at some point he recognized me and he was like, yeah, man, come on stage, and then I want you to like show me your step and how you can move and dance. I'm like, okay, you sure? And then I'm like, all right, let's do it. So no, he was really, really cool guy, and I love what he's doing, the fact that he's giving back to the community, to his country. So yeah, definitely Fuse ODG, shout out, man.
Speaking of that, like, does experiencing what you experienced in Ghana, does that now make you want to think about your home country? As far as maybe, and I don't know which way because you might be stuck in the middle between two, right? Yeah. That's a hard choice to make. But does that, because for me, that's what it did. Like when I went to Ghana, it made me think about Niger, and it made me think about what can I do to empower also the likes of me, because for maybe some of us, we are the symbol of hope in our home. I know for me, there's nobody else that I knew to do what I do, especially not in Toronto, North America in that sense. And then now with the internet, everything has become a very small place. Like you get to connect with so many different people, which before I would never had a chance to. What does that do for you as far as thinking about your home land and country and doing some stuff like that back there?
Yeah, no, I think it just confirmed that we as Afro people, and especially if you're like born and raised in the continent, we definitely have to think about either going back there, or at least the minimum I think we should do is investing there. That's the minimum, I think, because there are so many people that are not actually African, not from the continent, that are investing there, right? So I'm like, if those people are doing that, what about us?
Yeah.
Because maybe in the future we're just gonna go back and be like, oh, actually everybody's owning everything but us.
I can't. You can't.
So that's why to me
you don't price yourself out of any potential.
Man, so that got me thinking a lot that we definitely need to think about a continent, that we need to invest there. And that was actually one of the messages that Fuse ODG was trying to send to everybody, because that's what he did, right? Being most of the time in the UK, he had like so many music hits, and then thanks to the money, he just, invested back and gave back. So I think, to me, in related to my home country, so Gabon on one hand and Congo on the other side, I definitely think that, it was already my plan. Like when I left, I was like, I'm going to come back stronger, So at some point, it's just thinking about, making more investment and see what actually domains or sectors you can be like, that can be interesting to try to, have a food on, and not just like entertainment, but that can be anything, man. That can be real estate, any type of thing, right? So that can be technologies. So so yeah, to me, I was definitely like, I want to do more stuff in my home country, whether it's Gabon and Congo, but I rather, be sure that I'm prepared, right? So it's more about also preparation, but yeah, always been on my mind. So just being to Ghana and seeing those many people are just like, yeah, that confirmed that we need to do that.
Yeah.
And what was really interesting is that at one of the events I went to, I met a lot of Congolese people, and they actually created a platform called it's Biso na Biso, something like that. I think they try to connect Congolese people from the diaspora, and they were so inspired by the year of return, and they were like, maybe as Congolese people, why not could do a sort of year of return, but it's more like the Congolese diaspora going back to Congo and trying to, because Congolese people, like, there are so many Congolese people that I think we don't even need to be like, oh, year of return is like everybody coming to Congo, just the Congolese diaspora, man.
Facts.
A lot. So right now we're still in touch, and then they told me that they're gonna keep me posted. If, for instance, they might want to do that this year, maybe another year. But I'm like, yeah, definitely we need to do that too.
Yeah.
See the diaspora and how we can empower ourselves, and then go back and build some stuff, right? So there's that on the Congolese side, but on the Gabonese side too, yeah, definitely there's some stuff that I've been talking about, whether it's some friends or family. So yeah. It made me realize that we have to, man. It's like, we have to, man.
I went back to Niger. So for my setup was, I went to Ghana, and then I went to Niger a week later. So when I got there, honestly, I almost stopped doing this whole podcast shit by the time I came back. Because I was there, and I was like, this entertainment shit is fun.
Yeah.
Don't get it twisted. Get you the girls or whatever it is. But I was thinking long term is like, and so my thing has been about, and a lot of people have been asking me this about purchasing land. And I've touched on that on a couple episodes before, but this is why I keep coming back to this point, and why it's important, because my first time going back in 2013, let's say it was like $2,000 to buy it, right? And I was able to at the time. Even then it was a lot of money for me.
Yeah.
It could have been like, I might have been worth $5,000, and I took 2 of it and then put it in there.
Nice.
7 years later, this shit is about 10 times that. So it's about 20,000 or so. So when I'm looking at it like, fuck, man. You know what I mean? Like, if I would have just taken a gamble, and one of my frustration about us going back to the motherland, and I'm making this a point for a reason, is that, it's cool to go out and buy bottles and turn up and go to this beach party. The woman is beautiful. You're turned up. But you cannot tell me we're gonna go out there and spend about 10 stacks in just fun.
That's
or $5,000. Like, you cannot convince me that you're gonna go there and blow about $5,000, and all you got is snaps and Instagram pictures from the whole experience. And people don't think about, and I understand the money aspect of it. Yeah, I get it. You got to be a certain level to do certain things. I've came a long way, obviously, but I remember even when I had $1,000, like, it was like, I'm gonna invest 500. So that only multiplied to now I have a lot more. Therefore, I'm still. It seems like a big number to somebody else, but it's still, the ratio is fairly the same. You know what I mean? And even if you don't have it, like you and I, we'll connect. Yo, Gabon, what's up? Yo, I ain't got much. I got 2. You know what I mean? Oh shit, I got 2. And then we put it together, and then let that go further. Honestly, I would feel much better about that, and I think we need to make that a point. As to, this is where we're gonna make the difference. That's true. The entertainment shit is incredible. It's fun. We are talented people by nature. But how you empower yourself is through finances. That's true. Everybody respects the mighty dollars. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it give you that, because up here we maxed out. Like, I mean, I was talking to my, like, to buy land in North America, you gotta be damn near a millionaire. It's not even like, it's no question about it.
Especially in Toronto.
But back then, like, you could, you know what I mean, you could save a little $200 a month, and then end of the month, even if you go buy it in the middle of nowhere. The aspect of actually empowering yourself and purchasing this, it will change your mind state into something better. You know what I mean? So anyways, I think I love this entertainment shit. I love it. It has been good to me. I make money from it. I enjoy it to the core of me. But I think what people don't understand, how I'm able to make a difference in today's world is because these important steps that I do outside of this.
Yeah.
And then we need to have this kind of talk and share with one another and be like, yo, this shit is cool. You know what I mean? This plane ticket's too expensive. Yeah. To just go out there and just come back with pictures and and be like, yo, but I get it. I mean, you know what I mean? Shit, I have way too much fun sometimes. But I guess it's about creating a balance. Now, I want to get into your artistry. Obviously, you're an artist, hip hop artist. Yeah. What do you consider your style to be like? Because I know it was like Afro infused. I didn't want to butcher it, so I want you to kind of.
I would say it's mostly hip hop, but I try to bring what I call Afro fusion into hip hop, man. I just try to bring my Afro background and make it a little bit more obvious in my music, whether it's like in terms of like lyrics or whether in terms of like sound or whether in terms of like videos, like pictures and so definitely it's more like hip hop, like that's like the foundation, and then I blend it with like some Afro fusion. I
want to run through a couple of your highlights because, like I'm saying, you sent me a lot, and I was like, yo, this guy is not playing no games, and I respect it. But a couple of things. I mean, we talked about the Afro Chic in Ghana 2019, which I'm sure was big. As we got into a little bit. Afro Fest as well, and now that I was going through, I was like, oh yeah, I remember 2018.
Yes, 2018. I did
2018.
You Afro Fest in Toronto.
A couple thousand people, right?
Yeah, man.
Afro Fest huge.
Yeah.
Southwest.
Yep.
In March 2018 as well.
Yeah.
After we now that I even think about it, it's a couple of shows that I hosted you actually performed on. I was like, yo, I'm looking, I said, damn. Talk to me a little bit, because I've been to Austin, and I didn't realize at the time, a long time ago, I was dating the girl that lives in Austin. Long story short, that shit didn't work out. But I remember when I was going there, she put me onto that show. She was talking to me like South by Southwest, and how it's the biggest festival, and it's a week long, and it's how did you even come up? How did you get exposed to that?
So me is actually, I was still in Paris, and then I won actually a sort of like international showcase where what they do is like they go to different cities in the state and also the main cities in Europe and trying to find, like I would say, the best performers. So then the fact that I won the Paris edition, then they brought me to Miami.
Oh, that's a humble brag. So I mean, you kind of step through that. I mean, okay, so in Paris you won the best performer.
Yeah, for that contest called Coast to Coast Live, and then thanks to that I was able to fly to Miami for a big music conference called Coast to Coast Live Music Conference, and it's just there that I met some people. Went back to Paris, and then they were like, oh, we observed you, and then we just saw that you're taking your music like very seriously, and we actually producing a showcase during South by Southwest, and if you're interested, we can find a deal so that we can actually plug you and then you're gonna perform there. And I was like, oh, I mean, say less. And then that's how we actually made it happen, man. So that's why it's always cool, to go to different events. You never know who you're gonna meet. And then that was just me doing my thing at a showcase that was happening in Miami, and then some people were there, and then back to Paris, they're like, oh man, we saw you. And then that's why I ended up actually performing at South by Southwest. And
one thing about you, sorry not to cut you off, one thing, as I'm talking to you more, I realize one thing that you do better than most artists I come across is that you take this networking shit very, very fucking serious. Right?
I mean, I tried.
You were not connected prior to me even knowing you had music, right?
Yeah.
And I can remember this, and you can see today we even wearing yellow. We didn't plan this.
Yeah,
show,
I mean,
right?
I'm telling you, man.
We didn't plan this, but yellow is in right now. You know what I'm saying? But I remember I was doing a birthday, my 30th birthday. I was doing an event. I reached out to you, and adjacent to that, I was raising some funds because I do the sponsorship back in Niger, where I will pay a child's tuition for the year, right? Very something low key. One day I was talking to my mom. She's like, "Oh yeah, it costs X amount of money." As you can see, I got a lot of Jordans, and I gave my money to Jordan for many years. So in context, how it hit me was like, yo, I could change a child's life with just one pair of shoe. Right? So I started thinking around like, so I mean, I don't know if I felt guilty or what it was. I was like, yo, you know what? I don't know how big I can make this thing, but let me start. So I've been doing it for 2 years. And for my 30th, I was like, you know what? I know people are going to come and spend $400 or $500 on alcohol. Let's see if we could like do best of both worlds. So I was asking people, you know what? If you're able to give me, all I asked was $10. Like, give me $10 and then however money I get, I will match the money, and I think we were able to raise about $800.
Yeah.
Shout out to everybody else that gave me their money, and trust me that I wasn't just gonna go by myself a plane ticket. You know what I mean? And then that's even. No, we had met, but very briefly.
Yeah.
And through that, he's like, yo, I'm gonna support that, no problem. I'm not gonna make it, but I was like, all right, this guy's just talking some shit. You know what I mean? And then you actually follow through, send some money to it, and that to me stuck. It stuck to me a lot, and then when I hear how you navigate and getting these opportunities, before somebody believes in your talent, I think that networking thing is how you make somebody feel.
Yeah, that's true.
Talk to me about other artists. If you had to give them sort of like, yo, why this is important to do, because I feel like a lot of artists just feel like they don't need to. They either get management or go through my manager. Why is it so important to you?
I mean, I think it's because you need to know that this industry, and I think everything in life is not just about talent. I think to me actually the most important thing in life is actually the people that you have access to, like the network. And you know that quote that say your network is your net worth. So I think that just summed it up. And then when I really realized that that quote is actually true, then I was like, okay, instead of I'm gonna still keep spending time working on my craft for real. Okay, that's my passion, so I'm gonna always keep like being better and better. But I also know that I need to meet some people from my industry and see what's actually happening around me, and then see who are those people, and then just try to create some connection. And because you never know like who you're gonna meet, what they can actually offer to you, and what actually you can offer to them that they might be looking for. So that's why to me I just realized that instead of being talented and just be like I'm gonna be entitled and be like, oh, the world gonna hear about me and I'm just gonna chill, and then I'm gonna put my stuff online and be like, now I can chill. Or no, I was just like, if I have to, it's not like I don't even describe myself as an extrovert person. I would just say that to me is like, when I have to do something, I'm gonna do it, man. Because I have those moments where I just actually want to chill. I don't feel like going out, even if it's not just a party, because I start like going to just party to party. But even if it's like to network, sometimes I just like, I just want to do something else or stay home. But I definitely just realized that networking, growing your circle is very important, because there are so many people doing what we all doing, whether it's in art and everything. But the thing is, even if you're the only one to know to do what you're doing, but people need to hear about that. And how they're gonna hear about it is by you showing up. And then I also like the fact that one of my motto in life is that golden rule. Is about like it's better to do to people what you like them to do to you, right?
Facts.
So, and then by showing up sometimes to events, it's not even about like, oh, I'm gonna meet like this important guy or then important girl. No, to me it's also about like, when, let's suppose that I have my own event or whatever gonna happen, I would love people to also show, like so to me it's more like doing things that I think that I would love people to also do for myself, even if I won't expect that from the exact same people. It's more about that universal law. It's more like, if I go to support an event, I don't necessarily need that specific people from that event to support me, but I know we never know, that might come from somewhere else. And that's how sometimes when you work like that or you just function like that, I think anything that happens to you makes sense. It's more like, oh, I know why I got this opportunity because of this or that. So you actually become less surprised, because this luck, you've been like, yo, I've been actually working hard for this, because I've been out there grinding, networking, showing up. And then so I just understood that it was not just about the art and then staying home. And if you're an introvert, and I understand some people are introvert because it's not even about being entitled. Right. Because some people, yeah, they might be entitled and be like, I'm the shit, that's it. Right. But some people, it's just that, especially as artists, sometimes they are introvert. They don't like, they can even have like social anxiety. Mm-hmm. So to me, I'm like, if you have that, at some point, is either you try to fight it and just, grow from that and become less introvert, or you need to find someone that can do that for you, like they're gonna be out there and networking for you and be like talking about you, behalf, like But the thing is, I'm like, especially when you're starting, if you don't have those people, those team, then you have to do it yourself. So then to me, that was it. I was like, I'm just gonna start by myself, and then naturally people see what you're doing, and then they come to you and be like, oh, maybe I can, and then they can, oh, maybe I can help you. And literally, that's how I ended up now having a manager. I also know I had.
Now you big time. I see. Shout out to the manager. You see, I'm like, as soon as you told me, my managers, man.
No, literally, that was just organic, man. I wasn't like, okay, I need to find a manager, and I'd be like, oh, are you a manager? Can you manage me? No, that was just like pure coincidence, organic, and then boom, everything worked out. Man. So I think literally when you just like put out that energy, then definitely you're gonna have so many stuff like gravitating around you, and then they're gonna create more opportunities. But definitely, networking is key. So force yourself to do it, but do it like in a genuine way, or find someone that can do that for you. So to me, I was like, I'm starting from scratch, like literally, especially here in Toronto, because I was doing that back in the day what I was in France. But the thing is, when I moved to Toronto, I literally have like zero family, zero friends, zero connection, like zero. I just moved in the winter time. I was like, this city, I'm gonna take my life to the next level. That's why I'm here. I'm not like, and that's why it's even become like a motto in one of my songs where the quote is, I didn't come this far to only come this far. So I was just like, man,
you gotta go all in.
Oh man,
I respect it, man.
Yeah, so
I'm gonna be honest, I respect it all the way through, because that's what people don't understand.
It, man.
A lot of times we are competing against each other, but what sets us apart outside of what we do and our talent is our relationship that we have with so many different people. I was running through your music. First mixtape you released in 2014.
It
was called Crossroads and Therapy. 2016, Walk in the Path, which is an EP. And now in 2020, you're looking to release the first album. Do we have a name yet? Or not yet?
I have a name, but I don't
you don't want to give me. Come on, now, Activated Podcast. We're supposed to get the exclusive.
That's gonna be like off camera, like off the record.
You'll let me know. Okay, this is true. You've done that before. You sent me something like, "Yo, I need you." I said, "Don't worry, man. I can't fuck this up." You know what I mean? Okay,
but so what I can say is connecting to the vision. That's what I just can say. Like, the theme and all that stuff is connected, to the vision. Because also that's why I dropped in 2020, year of the vision, right? So.
It all makes sense. Now, this new upcoming album, you got a single, Down to Roll. Featuring Chantal Rose. Shout out to Chantal. Talk to us a little bit, because I watched the video. I was like, First, see, whenever I see something now, because I do have a relationship and things like that in the industry, as soon as I see something, I say, man, it look like they spend... Like it's well packaged and well presented.
Thank you, man.
So big shout out to you, and those listening in, please make sure you go check it out. It's on YouTube. It is called
Down to Roll.
I don't want to mess this up. Down to Roll featuring Chantal, my man Borelson. Go check it out.
With number 2, Down to Roll is like number 2, not T-O.
Number 2.
So that you can have it like straight when you type Down to Roll. Instead of T-O, you put number 2.
Number 2. Down to Roll. Okay. Talk to me about what does that mean? What is the meaning behind? Because I know you're a clever guy, right? Because I know you don't do things just. You're not leaving a chance. The fact that it's in the art gallery. I picked up on some of that shit. Half the shit I don't really know what it means. But I was like, yo, he's up to something. Talk to me about the whole concept. From taking a song into turning into the music video. And what was the thought behind it?
I would say, like, first thing first, I'm very visual as a person. Like, since I think maybe my teenage years, I always been like into like images and having sometimes vivid dreams and all that stuff. So for instance, when it comes to music, most of the time I would say, and whenever I write a song, I'm already visualizing a music video if I have to shoot a music video for that song. Okay. So every time, so then for that song that was produced by Junia-T, shout out to Junia-T, who's to me like one of the best producer ever in Toronto, or just producer in general. He just dropped also a new album called Studio Monk. And to be honest, I feel blessed to have been able to work with him and to produce that track, because he's like at the top, and me as a newcomer here, I think it's just like you said, well, I think he was noticing that he was seeing me like going places, and he was like, damn, oh, the same dude.
Was that it?
Like,
okay.
And the first day that I met him, I knew who he was, and then I told him my story, but like very quick, and I'm like, I moved here by myself, and I'm not trying to do this, and like you said, sometimes people talking like, yeah, and then he was just, seeing me here and there, noticing that we have like a lot of people in common, and then one day we were just like, literally I took the time, and it took me like a year to finally like be able to sit with him like in a studio and then be able to cook. So I was like, I'm not gonna like, mess up that opportunity, man. Like, and then we were actually working on one track, and then the fun story about Down to Roll is that when we're done working on that first track, he started like making a new beat, and then I went home, and when he started making that new beat, there was just like that loop, which is like the very beginning of the song. And I'm telling you, that night I didn't sleep, because I went home and I was like, that loop is driving me crazy. So I started writing that song Down the Roll, and I said, Junior, we need to finish that new track. He was like, yeah, say less, come over, and then
let's do it.
I went back to his studio, and then we did that track, and I was like, I already know that Chantal Rose, I've been talking about it for at least a year now. I already told her that I love her voice and we need to work on something, and then I sent her the demo track, and she was like, yeah, fuck with it, let's go, let's do it. And that idea already, the way we built that track, and that chemistry, I would say that like synchronicity with Chantal, Junia-T, who also actually happens to know Chantal pretty well, and then me, I was like, it's kind of like, yeah, synchronicity, and then
I was about to say that was in the song, right?
Yeah,
I'm like, damn, I don't know what that means, but that shit.
Yeah, so I was like, well, I like that idea, and then I was like, and I love like art galleries. Like most of my time when I'm outside, I don't know why, man. I don't know where that come from, because I didn't grow up like going to art galleries at all, man. Yeah. And then I don't know, man. And then that art gallery in my neighborhood, I was just like, I have that idea, I need to go and talk to them, and then they were like, okay, we can find a way to have the space, because we don't have any exhibition at the moment. So, but that idea was just like writing the song back with Junia-T, and I just knew that I want to have a moment where if I have to sum up the music video, the idea was like Black love, or love in general, but I really wanted to make like an emphasis of Black love, be like Black love is art.
Yeah.
Literally, that was the whole idea. And then obviously add some beautiful coincidence or synchronicity to it. So that's why the idea was having this guy and this girl. They both went to go to an exhibition about Black love, and then while they're at the exhibition, something happened, or stuff like, connection where you meet someone for the first time and you just feel that there's something special, and you look like that you knew each other from ages or from maybe another life, but you just feel that there's something special. Yeah. And then so that was the whole idea. And then I was really blessed, and I'm really grateful for all those people that I've been able to find and that understood my vision and be like, okay, we see what you mean, let's just go and do that. And then I literally curated the whole gallery. So all these paintings is more like I curated that. It wasn't like random. So I reached out to some visual artists that I really fuck with and that I've been following and seeing them move in the city, the talent, and then I explained them the idea, and all of them were like, okay, let's do it. So then I told them, okay, this might be this piece that I might need from you, and blah, blah, blah. And then they're all like, okay, let's do it. So really shout out to them, to Kofi's art, Shirley, visual by Megdes, Ehiko, and I think and Melissa Falconer. So these are the people that I feature in the music video, because I also really I like to empower people. So to me, it was also about like empowering those local artists making some dope shit, some dope art. So that's why I was like, the whole video is gonna be in a Black-owned, Black-operated art gallery. local artists, and then we're gonna have, yeah, people having fun and promoting art and promoting love. So that was the whole idea.
Honestly, you made me love that. I'm gonna watch that shit at least 5 times a day. You know what I mean? If you're telling me that from the ground up to like we're empowering so many people, and this is what I'm saying. Like this is what's so important about this whole ecosystem that we as Black people are trying to build.
Yeah,
it is important. Exactly what you're saying is that like, yo, I'm gonna go find me a Black artist.
Yeah,
we're gonna find a Black this and make it all about, because it matters that we are empowering each other.
Oh, yeah.
You come into my podcast, and I always tell people this, is nobody else is going to ask you the questions or your story better than your own people. And the reason I say this, recently I'm not going to put somebody on blast, but I was listening to an interview. Interview with Sounded White, right? It was interviewing an artist. The question didn't make no sense, my G. Like it was like, like it was driving me. I'm like, how do you go and sit through that? You know what I mean? Like, to give that person a leeway, the person one, he is a great person, and I think even him, maybe it's part of his management as well. Because sometimes you do have to go, but the whole time I'm sitting there like, yo, this is why it's so important for us to have this spaces for our creative, our people to come in and speak your truth, and we're not gonna ask you about nonsense like, oh, by the way, what is Gabon and is it like to me that shit to me is like, damn man, we dropping the ball, but honestly, shout out to you for bringing all these pieces together. I knew there was a reason why I liked you. This confirms it to me. So even though I didn't know these stories around it, you can't fake an energy that you feel when somebody does play. You know what I mean? Like I could tell a sleazeback like, yeah, you just trying to, you know what I mean? But somebody this is why people like you want to see win, because your win means you empower the whole ecosystem. Oh yeah, no,
definitely, man. I really believe that we need to empower each other, and then that's the way. That's the only way to go. To be honest, that's why in my music, that's what I say. Like it's hip hop and Afrofusion, but I always try to send some positive message to empower people and. I'm really also heavy into like Afrofuturism. So, and Afrofuturism literally is more about us Black people taking control of our narrative and thinking about the future. What, for instance, the future could be if we never been colonized, for instance, right? So, it's always about just being more in charge of our life, and then not being selfish, but more like selfless. But always finding a balance, right? Because you cannot pour from an empty cup. But I just like that, I think it's South African philosophy, like a word Ubuntu, where they say, I am because we are. So, and also I think that's just also the way that I've been raised by my parents, especially my mom, coming from a big family. It's more like you cannot be selfish, man, unless you want to be like cursed or whatever. But
that's all you had at the essentially.
So growing up, I was just like witnessing that my mom helping so many people, especially as siblings and nephews and all that stuff. Is more like, okay, your cousin is your brother, and so and actually that even how I ended up. Also, like having family in Benin, and I was telling you one time, I was like, "Oh, you have actually your last name is actually the same name as one of my uncles from Benin." I was like, "Man,
facts. I forgot. Yeah, we did talk about that. And I was saying like my lineage started in Benin, and then my great grandpa left Benin and he settled in Niger.
Yeah, so maybe that's how you vibe with each other. Maybe we are related, man.
To that. Listen, we had that. I completely forgot we had that conversation.
Yeah, man. And that's like our family in Benin. They used to live in Gabon, and then now they moved back to Benin. So shout out to my Beninese family. Yeah. But man, I grew up like that. I've been like surrounded by African people, being a Pan-African, and then that's to me. To be honest, I don't force that. It's organic. It's genuine. Yeah. I do things for myself, but I also know that I have to do things for my people.
Facts.
Yeah.
What's the end goal? Last question before we wrap things up.
Okay.
In the perfect world. Yeah. What is you attaining success looks like?
Oh, to me, I would love to be able to take care of the people that I really, really love and care about, man. I think to me that would be amazing. because yeah, I'm a type of person like when I really like you, I'm gonna spoil you, man. So I just wanna be able to be in that position to spoil people, especially the people that I really love and care about. So, and then also yeah, empowering people so that they can be. It's more like a chain where like you empower people and then they're also gonna empower people and then you just keep like snowball effect and you just keep going that way. So to me, success, that's my representation of success, where obviously I can be like making a living and I don't need to like be dependent on like anybody else.
Yeah.
But that would be like just one of the side of the success. But the other side and the biggest side would actually being able to use that success to empower people, at least the people around me that I care about. And for the people that doesn't even know me, I guess that would be sometime if you can at least inspire just one person that can be like, oh, if he did it, then maybe I can do that too. Because I came a long way, and even you, right? So us being here in Canada, which is like what they call like a first world country, right? And we're coming from developing countries, or like what they call like the third world country. But I'm like, just us being here, I know that there are some people back there that look up to us, right? And they're like, oh, this guy was able to do this, like he's hosting so many parties in Toronto with the guy that everybody talk about, Mr. Activated. Oh, that's Borelson. We can see him like winning prizes, working with the biggest in the industry. So also like inspiring if you're just like one person that be like, okay, man, I think I can do that too. Man, yeah. But definitely success is like being able to sustain myself and also take care of the people that I love and I care about, man. So I'm just doing my best to do that, because to be honest, if I was just selfish, I think that right now I'm good.
Yeah.
But I'm oh no, right now I could be like, I'm good, man. Yeah.
That's my whole thing too. I was, just to wrap things up, I was just saying like, you have to pay it forward. And every time I look out for somebody, I always say pay it forward to somebody else.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? And then let people know how they can reach you, your social media, where to find your video. Let them know if they want to. I mean, this was great. I'm fulfilled. I'm full. It looked like I just had a full meal. But let people know how they can reach you.
All right. But you're talking about me. I'll shout out to my Ghanaian people, because your food, man, was lit, man.
It was good.
Oh, man. It was Banku, Wache.
I'm going to be honest with you. That diarrhea is different. Because it takes a little while for your stomach to adjust.
Oh, man. So, I would say to reach out to me. So, yeah, my name is Borelson, Borelson. So you can find me on any social media, Instagram. Instagram.com/Borelson. On Twitter is Borelson4Music, the number 4. Facebook is also Borelson. And then same thing on Spotify, Apple Music. So I would say, just let's link up, let's connect on any social media. I have an album coming up. For now, I'm still promoting that song Down to Roll, produced by Junia-T and featuring Chantal Rose. So just stay tuned, because I have a lot coming up with that album this year. I actually have a showcase. I don't know when that podcast is going to be released, but on February the 23rd, I have a showcase performance at that show called Afro Waves by my homeboy Lexicon. So I'm going to
shout out to him.
Yeah, I'm going to be performing there, Down to Roll, and another like track never performed before from my upcoming album, so you don't want to miss it. So yeah, that's the way to find me, and definitely stay tuned, because 2020, I'm telling you, man, I'm bringing a lot. Time. Yeah, so yeah, definitely, man. We didn't come this far to only come this far. You already know.
Well, I mean, I want to say I appreciate you pulling up, man.
Yeah, my pleasure, man.
And let's do this again, man.
Oh yeah, man, definitely, man. Because people need to know also more about your story, man. Because it's true, like you the host, but I'm like, this guy also like putting in the work, man. I'm like, no, much respect, man. Because also, to be honest, it's not because we're here like kind of show, but you an inspiration, man. Definitely, man. And your vibes and everything, so talented, and everything you're doing for the city, for your community, man. I'm like, much respect, man, for that.
Yeah, man. I mean, we friends now, man. It's a wrap. For everybody tuning in, thanks again for tuning in. This is The Activated Podcast, and of course, you've officially been activated. Peace.